David, I want to thank you so much. I know that St. Luke's is in a stage of major transition, and you're the chair of the board. And it's so generous of you to be willing to contribute to our series on housing, home, and community. So
Well,
thank you. Thank you so much.
my pleasure.
And I know that with its location at Sherburne and Carleton, St. Luke's has a very long, rich history in outreach ministry. So I'm wondering if you could tell us a bit about that to begin with.
Yes, it does have a very long history. In fact, yesterday was our anniversary Sunday, and we have a story time section of the service, and I was taking it yesterday and talking about some of our history. Back in the end of the First World War, the minister at the time was concerned about the number of soldiers who had come back who were in the Allen Gardens right across the street without jobs, without homes in some case. And he put a big sign on the church facing Allen Gardens saying House of Friendship. And that moniker has remained. And he started a ministry there and to welcome and provide support. And that kind of ministry has continued through many, many decades. In terms of where we are now, we do have two major significant outreach ministries. This particular photo shows a picture of the church with the long line for the Allen Gardens Food Bank, which we host on Thursdays and Fridays every week. And they are now seeing over 1,000 families per week and needing food. The second big outreach ministry that we continue to work on is our Out of the Cold Food meal program, which we run on Wednesdays and Sundays, and we distribute between 650 and 700 meals, both directly from the church and to other places where there are encampments in different parts of the city. And this is a major initiative of the congregation that's very involved and is meeting a significant need in our neighborhood that has a lot of economically depressed situations with people with suffering significant food insecurity.
What, what amazing and important work in the community. And it's quite something to hear how this all began, David. Um, just, I'm really something to hear this morning about all you do with respect to food, because it was just on the news how the needs for the food bank are going up astronomically right now. Wonder if you mentioned a little bit about the current work that you're doing with your outreach. Could you tell us a little more about St. Luke's today in terms of the makeup of the congregation, perhaps staffing? You might want to say more about the work in the community.
Yes. Yes, in terms of our congregation now, it is becoming increasingly diverse. It's been diverse for a long time. This particular shot is a view of the volunteers at our Wednesday evening meal program, one Wednesday a few weeks ago. And you can see just visually the diversity in age and ethnicity. And that is very much characteristic of our congregation. And this photo is at a coffee hour. We call it a coffee hour, but it's really a full lunch after our services every Sunday. And again, just visually, you can see the range of our congregation. So we're a poor congregation. We are not people of any significant financial resources. Various people are refugees or living in community housing, and so we don't have the kinds of resources, but we still are engaged in all these ministries because it's reflective of the long time mission and the current inspiration that we have to be very much in our community and very much serving our community.
It looks like a very welcoming community.
That's what we keep hearing from people. When they come and decide to stay, it's because they are so welcoming. Yesterday there was a man who came for the first time, and I always welcome people at the front door and then introduce people at the beginning of the service if they're new. And in the conversation afterwards, this gentleman said he had just moved into a halfway house up the street, He had spent the last 47 years in prison. He was now out as of September the 12th, and he saw our church, saw the signs, and decided to come. And we spent quite a time in conversation, and he was welcomed by other people, and he's planning on coming back.
What a story. You are a huge old building. I've been in it. It's a magnificent old building. And you're in the midst of a major redevelopment, which you're doing in collaboration with Kindred Works. Could you tell us a bit about Kindred Works itself?
Yes, and back in about 2018, I think the United Church General Council formed an organization called United Properties Resource Corporation, UPRC, to help older congregations whose buildings were deteriorating and who had run out of financial resources to keep them up, which was the case for us. And the intention of UPRC was to help congregations figure out how to deal with a situation and particularly move toward alternate uses of their property, particularly with a priority around rental housing. And they form Kindred Works, which is a development corporation, redevelopment corporation, as a subsidiary of UPRC, or sort of. And so we have been involved with them, and we have a plan for a redevelopment. The plan of our redevelopment is to maintain the sanctuary, which is a historic, architecturally historic section, and it's the beloved heart of the building, and it'll be all repaired and refurbished, and it'll be made into a multi-use type of facility, both for Sunday worships, but also for performing arts, concerts, and choir events, etc. But then the rest of the building will come down, and in its place will be built 100 rental units, 30% of which will be affordable housing. And then in what's called the St. Luke's Community Hub, which is on the right-hand side, will be a whole series of meeting room facilities, both for us to carry on our activities like the meal program and the Allen Gardens Food Bank, but also for community groups. There are a lot of indigenous groups and economic social groups, as social service groups in our area who are in need of meeting facilities, and this is the intention of the community hub. The intention is to blend into the community. So this is a view from Carlton Street, an artist's rendering. And so you see the facade, the beautiful old facade of the church building along Carlton Street will be maintained behind the sanctuary part there, and the housing built on top of it. So it blends into, as much as possible, the community area. And the view from the interior, as I said, the pews will be removed. A flexible seating will be there. It has wonderful acoustics, which will be maintained. The windows that are shown in this picture will actually be the stained glass windows that are there in the building currently, which will be maintained. So it'll be, we hope, a highly used area for not only us in the congregation, but many other groups in the community. So in terms of the plan, we have these architectural plans, and there have been certainly delays in the construction, partly as a result of the pandemic and partly as a result of Kindred Works still working on getting all the financing together. It's a significant project. And there have been those delays. We are told most recently that construction won't begin for another 3 years. So, and then it'll be about 4 years of construction. So it's still a long ways down the road. But in the meantime, we are thriving in a sense, and not financially, certainly. We've had to cut back to a half-time minister, and we couldn't afford any minister during the summer. So we're living kind of on bare bones, but in terms of the spirit of the congregation, it is kind of like it's reflected in this picture. We are launching a ministry with newcomers program. We've applied for a grant from the Seeds of Hope of the United Church Canada Foundation to support us in this because we have the sense of so many new people coming, refugees and international students, and also people from the community living in community housing around, and finding St. Luke's to be a warm and hospitable place. So we're intentionally launching an initiative to be more intentional about reaching out to newcomers. And we're also starting discussions about collaboration with Regent Park Community Ministry, which is a neighbor in the downtown east area. And we both have similar kinds of outreach missions and orientations. And there's real potential for collaboration and sharing of resources between our two ministries. And so both of those aspects are very exciting ventures toward a future that will continue to be very relevant to our community.
Yes, I was just going to say that very thing, David. I mean, this is all so exciting. I mean, especially to see that you're really developing this. You're keeping very much in mind that you want to be a community center. And as you say, even though I was going to ask, when do you think this project will be complete? And I guess in one way it could be discouraging to think, oh, it'd be 3, 4, maybe 5 years. On the other hand, in the meantime, you continue to grow and indeed to thrive. It's great. And, really encouraging to see this as one way in which churches, people of faith can take responsibility for addressing this need for low cost, fair cost, comfortable, safe housing.
Yes,
it's really wonderful.
The housing is very important as a better use of the property that we have than is currently the case. But in the meantime, the congregation continues to go about its mission and ministry, and will be in even stronger position to continue that once the new building is available and we're able to move back into it.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, you speak so passionately and thoroughly about all of this. Thank you for being here with us today.
Well, you're welcome. We really feel led by the Spirit in all of this. And so that's what lies behind our passion.
One can feel that.
Thank you.